the Palestinians are peaceful and that it's not them, it's actually Hamas that's causing all these problems. But that's not the case. Every country that has ever had a large amount of Palestinians has regretted it. And that's the reason that none of these Arab countries are willing to accept Palestinian refugees. Don't believe me? Let's go through it. So back in the late 80s, the nation of Kuwait was a haven for Palestinian refugees. However, they were all expelled in 1991. Now, what could have caused an Arab nation like Kuwait to expel 300,000 Palestinians, representing nearly 20% of the entire population of Kuwait? Well, that was because a year prior, elected leaders of the Palestinians in Kuwait actually supported Saddam Hussein's invasion. After Kuwait, with the U.S.'s help, successfully defended themselves from Iraq, they found that those Palestinian organizations had actually been aiding Saddam Hussein, trying to destabilize and destroy the government of Kuwait. They kicked them the fuck out. This certainly wasn't the first time this happened. A couple decades earlier, there was a lot of Palestinian organizations throughout Jordan. Those organizations openly called and protested for the removal of Jordan's king, as well as the destruction of the entire Jordanian monarchy. See, at that time, the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, actually had its own armies operating within Jordan. And they used those armies to try to destabilize the entire country, all in an effort to punish Jordan for not being able to defeat the Israelis. These armies even went into the capital city of Amman, where they attacked, robbed, and even kidnapped Jordanian citizens, all in the name of collecting financial assistance for their war against Israel. When the Jordanian police tried to stop this from happening, PLO armies massacred them. They even had an organization called the PFLP, which stood for the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. This organization hijacked Jordanian planes, converting the planes to Palestinian-held airfields in Jordan and holding the Jordanian passengers hostage. So in response, in 1970, the Jordanian army actually had to declare war on the PLO. After 10 long months of grueling warfare, Jordanians were finally able to drive the Palestinians out of their country. But before they left, the Palestinian terrorist group known as Black September assassinated the Jordanian prime minister. After being expelled from Jordan, the Palestinians then went to Lebanon. At the time, Lebanon had a conservative Christian Maronite government. The Palestinians, even though they were only guests in that country, they weren't happy about that. So they allied themselves with socialist and Marxist organizations all throughout the country in an effort to overthrow the Christian Lebanese government. And once they started their coup, thousands upon thousands of Palestinian militants flooded into the country, sending the entire nation of Lebanon into civil war. A civil war that ended up being one of the most bloody and chaotic wars in Middle Eastern history. You may not know this if you've never been to Lebanon, but they still haven't recovered from that. So if you're wondering why these Arab nations won't accept Palestinian refugees, it's because they know better. Because unlike bleeding heart liberals in America, the Arabs of the Middle East know their history.